Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jeff with Fluent American checking in. I wanted to spend just a little bit of time today talking about intonation. Now, if you're not familiar with intonation, we have lots of other videos that discuss this, and I'll be sure to post them in the lesson details and also in the comments once this video is done. But a real quick refresher, English has several different types of intonation: rising, rising. Notice my voice is going up. Rise, rise, and falling, falling, fall. My voice going down. For those of you who have studied tones in languages like Mandarin, it's very similar to like a second tone and a fourth tone. Now, there are other intonation patterns as well, but these are the most prominent. Um, and intonation is really important. A lot of students ask me, what's more important, like pronunciation? And pronunciation is really important too, in terms of making sure people understand you. But if you have the wrong intonation pattern in your speech, as some of you I'm sure are aware, people can have a hard time understanding you. Okay. So intonation patterns are definitely really important to clarity. It can help make you sound really natural, even if your pronunciation is already pretty good. Okay. So we're going to be taking a look at one word, and I'll put this in the chat box. So we're just going to be looking at the word really and talking about different ways we can play with intonation to change how it's pronounced and emphasized. Okay. So the first way, let's actually make it a question. So if we make it a question, like someone tells you something like, oh, like it's supposed to rain today, you can say, really? E, E, really? And that E sound, when you're rising at the end, is showing to the person who's listening to you that this is a question. Okay, like you didn't know that. Really? That surprises me. So just by going up on that last syllable, you're showing again that this is a question. Okay. Notice also in the syllable before it, it's going to be lower. Really? Really? What I tell a lot of students is that, not always, but a lot of times in English, what happens is if you know on the last syllable, you're going to do something. So here we know we're going to go up to show that it's a question. E, E, rising. So what native speakers will often do is do the opposite before it. It's like really, really, going down on the r and going up on the li. Really, really. Okay. Again, this doesn't apply to every situation, but this is something that can be helpful to keep in mind. It helps make your sentence sound a little bit more natural. I think if you notice it in other people's speech, this is a great thing to start applying to your own talking as well. Now, let's say that we just want to respond to that. So your friend says, hey, it's going to rain today. You say, really? What could they say? They could say, really, really, falling tone, really, really. Okay, so notice a heavy fall, especially on that last syllable. So really, 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 really. So the first one's a question, really. Second one's an answer, really. Okay. Now, there are other ways to show other types of emotion with this too. So let's say, for instance, that you don't believe your friend. Your friend says something and you don't actually think it's going to rain today. Well, you can make it sarcastic. You could say, really, really. Notice you're putting a real heavy emphasis on that first syllable. Really, really. This will actually have two falling tones. This signifies sarcasm. It's showing that you don't actually believe what they're saying. Like, oh, it's supposed to rain today. Really? I just looked out the window. It's a beautiful day. I don't believe you. Really? You can also show other emotions with this too. So, for instance, let's say you're a little bit worried. You had a big plan. So they say again, oh, it's supposed to rain today. You could be like, really? 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 So, again, this is again indicating a little bit of worry. You're nervous. You don't want that to happen. Okay. So we talked about a lot of situations like really, 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 really. And again, just kind of playing with tone, pauses, pitch, all these things together, combining to change the emotion. We can do even more. So let's say you're excited. You really want it to rain. Like, hey, it's supposed to rain today. Really? Really? Notice the pitch is going much, much higher. Okay. Really? 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 It's supposed to rain today. Really? You could even add that little gasp before. The little quick gasps, again, showing surprise. Okay. So again, these are just real quick ways that you can tie in intonation to your speech to change the emotion. And this is part of the reason why I think that intonation can really, in a lot of ways, be more important than pronunciation because it can convey, not just sound, but it's also conveying emotion. How should the people feel basically about what you're saying, or how do you convey how you're feeling to other people? Okay, so intonation is a tool that you can use to show these things. One last way that I can think of right now, it can also be used as a way to kind of show, for instance, maybe you're not done talking. So, for instance, you could say, like, really, notice I'm holding that E, really, I thought we were supposed to do something. So, when you hold that last syllable and go up, that signifies to your listener that you're not done talking. Okay, so that's another strategy that you can use take a word and lengthen the last syllable and also use a rising intonation. And that lets the listener know that you're not done you're not done talking yet. Really, really, I thought we could do something else. Okay. Yeah, so again, these are just lots of quick examples, general situations, questions, worry, sarcasm, excitement, all of these being conveyed just by one word and changing the intonation pattern. Okay. Again, for more information about intonation, I'll be sure to post some links afterwards in the details and also in the comments. Thank you guys for your time. If you have other questions about intonation patterns that you're not sure about, experiences that you've had with intonation, maybe where people misunderstood you or you've seen people be misunderstood, let me know in the comments because it'd be great to share your stories. And also let me know what you think. Do you think intonation is more important or pronunciation is more important? Which one? Thank you guys for your time. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Have a good day, have a good night, and a good afternoon.